Today, we're diving into a strange and powerful phenomenon that messes with teams everywhere, the Abilene Paradox. It's this bizarre situation where a whole group can agree to a decision that, get this, not a single person in the room actually wants.
So let me ask you this, and be honest. Have you ever found yourself in a meeting just nodding along, saying, "Yep, sounds good," while your brain is screaming, "This is an absolutely terrible idea"?
Well, if you have, you're not alone. That feeling, it has a name, the Abilene Paradox. It's a type of group bias where a team will collectively decide on something that, secretly, none of them want to do. It's all driven by this quiet underlying fear, the fear of being the only one who disagrees. So let's dig into the core of this problem. It really boils down to one simple but powerful dynamic: consensus without conviction. It's that empty feeling of agreement where everybody says yes, but nobody actually believes in it.
You can really see the difference when you put them side by side. Genuine consensus, that's the good stuff. It's messy, it involves healthy debate, open discussion, and you walk away with a real shared conviction. The Abilene Paradox, though, that's a whole different animal. It grows in silence, and it's fueled by false assumptions and a deep-seated fear of just disagreeing. And don't just write this off as some abstract psychological theory. For those of us working in data, in analytics, in BI, this paradox is a silent project killer. And trust me, it shows up way more often than you'd think.
I bet you've seen this play out. It's that massive, super complex data platform project that gets the green light, even though nobody on the team is genuinely excited for it. Or it's that new dashboard standard that gets rolled out to the sound of crickets. Or, my favorite, the strategic KPI framework that feels more like a box-ticking exercise than something that actually provides insight. Sound familiar? This silent agreement isn't just a little awkward, it's incredibly destructive. So let's talk about the real-world damage, the actual cost of this silence.
And make no mistake about it.
The damage is absolutely significant. You're looking at wasted time, huge amounts of wasted money, and a major loss of credibility for your team. This is exactly how you end up with data products that nobody ever uses, BI platforms with adoption rates in the single digits, and analytical reports that influence precisely zero decisions. I mean, just think about this real-world scenario. A company spends a fortune on a brand new centralized BI solution. Why? Because on paper, everyone wanted it. Fast forward 1 year, and nobody's using it. The tech was flawless. The root cause wasn't a technical failure at all. It was a psychological one. Nobody ever felt safe enough to voice their real concerns at the beginning. So we know it's a real problem, but how do you actually spot this silent agreement before it spirals into a disaster? Well, it's time to learn how to diagnose the symptoms. So how can you tell if your team is unknowingly packing their bags for a little trip to Abilene? Okay, you need to keep your eyes peeled for these red flags. Are your meetings, especially for big decisions, just eerily quiet? Does everyone agree way too fast with no real debate or questions? Do you see a lot of passive resistance, foot dragging, after the decision has been made? And here's the biggest giveaway. Do the critical opinions and real thoughts only come out in private Slack channels or whispers by the coffee machine? If you're not in yes, you might be on that road. All right, we've figured out how to diagnose the problem. Now, for the most important part, let's talk about the cure for this false consensus. Here's a 5-step process you can use to break the cycle. First, you have to intentionally create space for disagreement. Make it feel normal and expected. Second, separate the idea phase from the approval phase. Let all the crazy ideas out before anyone starts judging them. Third, and this is huge, stop asking, "Does everyone agree?" Instead, start asking, "Does anyone disagree? What are your concerns?" Fourth, for really big decisions, try using anonymous feedback tools. It just lowers the social risk of speaking up. And finally, number 5, reward openness, not just compliance. Thank the people who raise tough questions, even if you don't go with their idea.
This all leads us to the real root cause of this whole mess. And honestly, if you take just one thing away from this explainer today, this should be it.
Let this one sink in for a second. Bad decisions are often not caused by poor data, but by a lack of courage to speak the truth. That's it. That's the heart of the matter. So here's the bottom line. You can have the best, cleanest, most high-quality data in the entire world. But that data is completely worthless if your team's culture doesn't allow them to speak up and talk honestly about what it all means.
So the next time you're in a meeting and a big decision gets that quick, unanimous approval, I want you to stop and ask yourself one simple question. Is our team's consensus real? Or are we all just taking a trip to Abilene?